Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all.
Summer clean slate, dude.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Whoa, gnarly, Hal. It's time for our summer clean slate. Oh, that Dick Dale guitar riff can mean only one thing.
Yeah, fun in the sun and answered questions number one.
Sammy Hagar, how did you wind up in our Zoom?
I try to sell Wango Tango wherever I can, so I started randomly showing up on people's Zoom calls.
Oh my gosh, that background is offensive in most places.
Well, not on the island I own. Hey, I bought too many bottles of this, and it's literally costing me millions of dollars just to hold onto the inventory, so this stuff is priced to move.
Well, Sammy Hagar will help you move as much of that booze as you want if you first bring back Hal so we can clean the slate summer style.
You got it! Standing on top of the world.
Oh, wow, he's singing as he goes.
Hey, what did I miss?
Hey, oh my gosh, Hal, Sammy Hagar was just here.
Was he trying to sell that Wango Tango tequila or whatever he sells?
Yeah, and he had that background up again.
Don't do it. You know what?
Yeah.
He's got to learn the folly of his business decisions. It's built like a pyramid outside of his house. Like he tried to turn it into like a thing that like tourists would come to. Didn't work.
No,
Nobody's
not at
going
all.
to see that. Just a bunch
Nobody's
of bottles
going to the
at end
Hagar
of day.
pyramid?
No. I mean, you're hoping it might fall over at some point. Not to hurt anybody, but just because all the breaking bottles would be cool to see.
I want to see him just permanently at the top of it, placing the last bottle on this giant pyramid of bottles. I assume it's a bottle pyramid.
Yeah, it is.
Sure. Like you would make a pyramid back in the day at a college party or something.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that today, Hal. We're here to clean the slate summer style. I don't think we've ever done like a themed clean slate of summertime stuff before, have we?
I don't know if we have either. If we have, it's been long enough that it's legally new again.
Oh, cool. Wait, is that how things work?
Mm-hmm. There's a statute of limitations on everything. It's not just crimes.
I have this brand new character I've invented named Steamboat Willie. You're going to love him.
Is it a horror film that you're putting in there?
Probably will be soon.
From the people who brought you Winnie the Pooh.
Can you imagine the people who were just waiting, like salivating? They knew the rights were going to come up like, oh, Winnie the Pooh is going to be in public domain. And the first thing I'm going to do is terrify everyone. Yeah. That's the one thing they've never done with him.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I have not seen this movie, so I'm wondering which Winnie the Pooh character is the scariest looking. It's got to be Piglet, right?
Piglet's probably pretty scary. I feel like horror pigs.
Voice and horror pigs are always either a mask on a psycho killer or it's
or like a mutant, like dropped into toxic waste. And this is what they look like. They look like a Gamorrean guard, like an albino Gamorrean guard without the tusks.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I thought of one that might look more horrifying in the horror movie version of the 100 Acre Wood.
Go ahead.
Rue. Because Rue is going to look like a Quato or like the alien, the xenomorph coming out of the chest.
Yeah.
That's Rue just like coming out at you.
I love my mother.
Oh my gosh.
Save me.
You get back in your pouch.
Anyway, what's our first topic, Ken?
I don't know.
All summer topics submitted by you, our listeners. First one is, okay, this is from Matt Murph. This is a good one. You're going to the beach.
I got to open up. Hold on a second. Let me open up the chat.
Open up the chat so you can see it too. It's just to me. It's just for me. I get to see this one.
So you get to say, I'm going to hear
I already know what it is.
Time is, wow. Well, I've stalled long enough that you've had a chance to read it through a couple of times.
Yeah. I really got an opinion now.
Yeah.
You're going to the beach, Mark.
I am?
Chair or beach blanket? Yeah, we're going to go to the beach. What are you bringing?
Which one of those two? I feel like there's such an obvious choice for this. Mm-hmm. One of those two is going to keep us only slightly, but slightly farther away from the sand in our butt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's got to be the chair.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's a reason that beach blanket space isn't coveted when you get to the beach early in the morning. It's those chairs. You got to claim one of those chairs early.
Yeah. Yeah. Or bring one with you. They got the ones that are like backpacks. Cause when you bring a blanket or even a towel, you try to use your towel as a blanket. Number one, that's a loser move because immediately
it's tiny.
when you try to dry off, you might as well run sandpaper all over your body.
Yeah.
But for a blanket, you got to put the corners down. You got to put stuff on the corners.
Yeah,
so
which is what are you usually using to put in the corner? Something that you filled with sand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or a shoe.
As soon as you lay down it's not like you're laying on something that's even ground. So you're laying on the wavy texture of the sand, terrible for your back. And then as you lay there, first of all, the blanket is slowly becoming one with the sand. It's creeping over the side. It's like the Sandman. It's like slowly turning it like Marvel Sandman, not the other Sandman.
Right. What's like the monkeys in Return to Oz with the wheeled front legs. And whenever they would hit that sand, they would turn into sand monkeys.
Right.
You remember what I'm talking about, right? This wasn't a fever dream. Return to Oz wasn't a fever dream I had. Fairuza Balk was in this movie, right?
It was, yeah.
And when anything hit the sand, we were freaked out by this when I was a kid. Yeah. And we used to, like, anytime you would put a blanket over yourself, you would be like, oh, you look like those monkeys from Return to Oz. Cause they would retain their shape when they hit the sand.
The whole movie was a fever dream, by the way.
Yeah. Ugh. The Hall of Heads.
Yeah.
It would be cool
TikTok,
to have a Hall of Heads.
The giant beer bong. Giant ball.
I like the moose-faced chaise lounge.
Yeah. I mean,
come on. Everybody
what
go watch
else can
that
Jim
movie.
Henson make a puppet out of?
It really does look like it was just his attic.
Yeah. Can you do the thing where, from Labyrinth where the door knockers are just a bunch of hands doing stuff? What can we do with that?
Ooh, I love that. That scene is great.
It is.
Hey, I'm going to turn this Papa shot into something. Sure. I found it in the break room. That's great.
What about this melted pig version of Rue? How can we use that somehow in Return to Oz?
Oh, wait a minute. Did they shoot 100 Acre Wood to 101 acres here?
101 acres.
Ridiculous. All right. Yeah, it's got to be the chair.
Yeah. Asked and answered.
All right. All right. Ooh, now I know one. What do you think of this?
Excited.
Oh, we've done this one before.
What is it?
We did this one in, you know what though? This is one that we did during our Hot Ones challenge.
Oh, I have no memory of that. So
Hal has no memory
Tabula
of
rasa. What is it?
This is from Leslie Harkins. Leslie Harkins wants to know what's the best way to get into a pool? Quick, full immersion, or slow immersion?
Oh, you got to go all the way.
If you remember see if you have the same thoughts. Yeah, of course you do.
Bad for your crotch. And recently I did a spa day. I had a lovely spa day in Ojai, which was very nice.
Ojai's great for spas.
Part of the spa was with, I was with some of the Night Vale folks and, they called each, like there was a guy's area and a gal's area. And then the common areas were the pool, but in your unique, like kind of locker room lounge, there was a Nordic dip, like one of those like cold plunges.
Yeah.
And a hot tub and like a steam room and stuff. And we called it the splash zone. I didn't come up with that, but in the splash zone is this cold plunge and I decided to try it. And the only way to do it would be I had to go in all the way and get in. And if you do it slow, even in like a warm pool, it's going to be cooler to you than the temperature you are when you get in. And
if it's not 98.6 or higher, it's going to feel cold, regardless of whether or not it is 97 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, get in there fast. Well, I have questions about this cold plunge.
Yeah.
You said the only way to get into it was to go into it fast. Was it just like the whole thing was deep end?
No, there were steps into it. It was probably like belly button height, but you have to get in and then you get down into it. Like I got down into it all the way head.
It's shallow. You have to do the getting underneath. Like you have to do a full squat.
I just went in and I'm doing like the, lay down, like I turn into like the Star Baby from 2001. You do that kind of pose.
Sure.
It's so cold. It was so cold. But my entire body was experiencing it at once rather than this part's really cold and I'm starting to shiver a little bit. And maybe I do like the stuff that the old, Jewish ladies at the summer and spring swim club would do, which is take a little
splash it on your water.
You splash it on your arms and think it's not acclimating you. You got to get in the water.
Don't do the scoop. This was determined on the chicken episode. I'm just calling it the chicken episode now.
Sure.
Yeah, of course I remember that. Don't do the scoop. Yeah, just get in the pool fast. Did you stay in there for a long time? Because it's called a plunge, not a stay. It sounds like you were just like, so I plunged in and I was frozen. Didn't you immediately get out and jump back in the hot pool?
I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of professional wrestlers who I follow on social media. They've been getting these cold plunges. And what you're supposed to do is go in and stay as long as you can, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
The scoop.
Yeah, real good for you scoop your whole body in there. You get in, they get in, they sit there, they're like, all right, I'm going to do this for whatever, 2 minutes. And they get out there. It's like torture for them. I'm like, well, let me see how long I can get in. So I go all the way in, dunk my head comes out, and then the Three Stooges popped up on the surface of the water and ran out. Could not stay in. Couldn't stay in. I couldn't. I wanted to. And then later on, I was like, maybe I'll go into the cold plunge again. But right next to it is the hot tub. So I'll get out and then I'll get in the hot tub. And then I thought, what will happen then
is you're an ice cube and you're going to cool off the hot tub.
Is I will either die or I will pass out. And then I will be the one guy who drowned in the hot tub at the Ojai Valley Inn.
Yeah. And guess what? Then nobody gets to go in the hot tub for a while.
Right.
Is that what you want, Hal? Is that what you want?
I'll tell you what else. This is what they told me when they brought me into this lounge was this is clothing optional.
Oh.
So you get a robe, you get slippers. I immediately put on the swimsuit because, I'm going to go out to the pool later. I know what my plan is. So I'm in the hot tub. When I finally get in the hot tub, I'm sitting there. I'm talking to our friend Jeffrey Craner, who's sitting, he's getting ready to go get a treatment, and we're talking. And then this guy walks in and he's, he takes off the slippers, he's going to get into the hot tub, and then he takes the robe off and hangs it on the hook, completely naked, gets in the hot tub. And I immediately am like, I got to get out of here because this is becoming a stew that I don't want to be an ingredient.
It's becoming that guy's soup.
It is that guy's soup. And he's not doing anything wrong. No. At all. But normally,
normally all the parts that you don't want to think about steeping are you're witnessing the steep.
It's all laid bare. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
common areas are not, you have to
of course. Was this like a jimjilbang? Have we talked about the jimjilbang before?
No. Is that something you made up? That sounds fake.
It's not a thing I made up. It is Korean spas. Annie introduced me to them on a trip to New York when we had gone on an overnight. We were like, we need to get some sort of relaxation in because we're going straight into our day. And, take a shower and all this stuff. These places are great. They're Korean day spas. You go in and it has similar things. There's, it's divided up by gender and then there's a common area. This one had like what looked like Hopi adobe structures, like little kilns that you go sit in. They're these warm little, like we were little pizzas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we had there was the cold plunge as well in there. I didn't know if this was specific. This is the classic famous Ojai Valley Inn.
Yes, it is.
That you were at. Wow. Look at you.
I know. Fancy gentleman.
Yeah. The last time I was at a pool, it was, when we were in Vietnam recently on this trip, and it was the hotel pool, but it was clear that people who worked in the hotel had just given their friends and family access to it. Because it felt so much like everybody knows everybody. Hey, Dave, morning, Pete kind of, experience in there. And that made me love the idea of like one relative gets a job in a hotel and suddenly the entire family that lives down the street has taken over the swimming pool and hot tub area. Would not have surprised me if some of the guys in there were comfortable enough to just be like, well, taking these off. Now I'm steaming. Yeah.
Hope you like this stew.
But we're going to go with, did you get in quick? Yeah.
Get in quick. Asked and answered.
Amen.
All right, EJ Salazar.
What's up, EJ?
You haven't spent a lot of time on boardwalks, right? Like the boardwalk of Atlantic City and Ocean City, New Jersey.
I enjoy a boardwalk. Yeah.
All right. So when you go to get ice cream, because you got to get ice cream when you're out on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
You get hard ice cream or soft serve.
This is specifically boardwalk.
No, it's just general. I'm giving you a setting where that's a choice that you'd be presented with often.
Interesting.
In the summertime, which do you prefer? You can readily get to either one.
Yeah, I think that this is tough because they each have their pros and cons. This could be an entire episode, soft serve versus hard ice cream.
Do you want to bookmark it?
Should we bookmark this?
You want to bookmark it for a full episode and promise people a full episode of this for the summer?
Yeah, EJ, we're bookmarking this. We're promising a full episode on
let's bookmark
soft serve versus hard ice cream. Bookmark it.
Feed me again, Ken. Give me another one, because that one was a bookmarker. All right. Timothy Utton, best weather for a long drive. A lot of road trips happening during the summer.
Sure. Best weather for a long drive. I want something that I can roll down the windows and get a nice breeze, but it's not going to be too cold or too hot.
Mm.
I don't want sun beating down on me.
Sure.
So I want sun high in the sky midday, but overcast and 71 degrees.
That was a real When Harry Met Sally order for your weather.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, man, is that what he ordered on the road trip? Cause I'll have what he's having.
That is a good drive. It's good during the summer. There's like a slight breeze, but it's warm out. 71, there's something's gone wrong unless you're in like sort of a cold weather area. I don't mind it up in the 80s, but this is kind of crazy because it is very dangerous for driving conditions, but it doesn't scare me. An active tornado, or the two tornadoes in Twisters in theaters soon as of the release of this episode. Not paying us, but what we're going to do is start actively pitching sponsors. Like this is what you get.
That's right. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get us talking about Twisters. If you like Twister, it's twice as many.
Yeah. And a million times more Glenn Powell, America's New Sweetheart.
Glenn Powell.
I actually like driving in the rain. I like a heavy rain drive because I like driving during the rain. I like it to start while I'm driving and end while I'm driving, or get a little bit lighter to the point where you could roll down the window a little bit and get that summer rain
a little
smell.
Mist. Yeah.
Oh, the smell.
I do like that.
The summer rain smell after like a heavy rain. Those are memorable drives for me. Is driving in weather. I've driven not in weather and I've driven in weather. And by and large, what I remember most are the times in like severe weather, just because it's a story and it's also kind of fun. You feel a little bit more adventurous, like you're forging through this. And hey, I fought my way through this storm. I didn't just pull over and stop.
So us on a road trip we are polar opposites on an airplane trip, because on an airplane trip, I'm like, chaos is fine. We'll get to the airport 45 minutes before the flight. Any sort of obstacles, hazards, can get in the way. Mm. You want clear skies all the way, the easiest version, get there early, do the thing. With a drive, give me the easiest version, blue skies, gray skies, cause overcast and I don't want the one-arm tan. But you want inclement weather. You want chaos, my friend. You want X factors galore. Now, right. Bear in mind, this was brought up as a sustained road trip.
Yes.
Best weather for a road trip.
Yes. It's going to be clearer when it's raining too, because most people will stay away. Here's the thing.
Go on. I'm with you though for the right after. So can we say that it's the immediate aftermath of a hard weather event?
Yeah, you can.
So we get that smell?
That can be your yes. Yeah. Here's why I had the same thought, by the way, that we have opposite opinions on this right before you said it. So we're on the same wavelength. I'm going to tell you why I think they're so radically different.
Okay.
When I drive, or when you drive somewhere, you are in control of when you leave, how long you go for, how you deal with the things that come up. You have an extraordinary amount of control.
Yeah.
The weather you can't account. There are always things that are going to be out of your control, but a lot of it is in your control. When you're flying, you're on somebody else's schedule. This is the time that we leave. This is the time at which we close the doors and you can't get on the plane anymore.
Yeah.
There is a finite amount of space. No, I don't have to struggle for storage space with anybody when I'm driving my car. We figured that out, and
you just have to struggle for traction on the freeway that you're driving on with the 100 or so other cars around you.
I'm not in like a Lamborghini. The car can handle
it. A Lamborghini for a road trip would be terrible, by the way.
Of course. They're bad for everything except to look at and see somebody else's and go like, oh, what are you compensating for? That's what I think whenever I see it. Or, there's a store, I can't remember the name of it. There's that clothing store on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. It's either on Rodeo or Robertson. It's like a really high-end clothing store, and the owner owns like these crazy expensive cars.
I don't know this place.
The owner will park in front of the store, and people will come take pictures, and it turns the place into kind of a tourist spot. It also would attract like bigger money people and go like, oh, well, if the owner of that car's in there, then I've got to go in there and buy ripped jeans for $1 billion or whatever. But I like those cars to me I just never been a car guy in that sense. Like I don't want fancy. I want it to be comfortable and high tech. That's what I did like.
See. Yeah. I'm a high tech. Give me a Fiat, which is basically like driving an iPad. I love those things.
A Rivian.
A Rivian. Oh, yeah. Give me a Rivian with those teeny little glasses from every character in the Capitol in the Hunger Games. That's what I want. A Rivian looks like it's going to, those two little headlights, it looks like it's going to tip its headlights at you and give you a once over.
Yeah. Or wink at you.
Yeah. I saw yesterday a car that I thought was very exciting because I'd never seen one before. Frequently in Los Angeles, you will see some fancy cars, and a Bentley is one that I very much enjoy seeing. Yesterday, I saw for the first time, a Bentley with a cherry red paint job. And I commented on it yesterday, right? Because usually a Bentley's like, I say, old man, would you put color on that car? Dare not. No, silver or black or white. Yeah. That's it for a Bentley. But to sort of see like a cherry red Bentley was very cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. I saw 4 Cybertrucks. There are 4 Cybertrucks in our neighborhood.
Those are the worst.
They're so bad. I know they're 4 different people. That is the dumbest looking car I've ever seen in my life. And I remember Le Car, and I think that is a better car than a Cybertruck.
What does why is it shaped like? Are they aquatic? Can they go underwater?
No, they can barely go on the road. They can't do anything.
Why does it have a hull then?
And also the lid will close on your finger. Some guy tried to show they did a software update so it won't close on your finger. Then he starts testing it with like his arm, then the wrist. And each time he's like, oh, there's some pressure, but it opens back up. All right, now I'll do the finger. And then it closes and his finger becomes trapped. He's filming himself. And then later on he shows a close up and the finger has a dent in it and it's shaking. And he's like, my head's shaking right now from that, because what it does is the sensors assume that there's like a luggage strap or something sticking out. So it tries to close it harder.
No, why would it do that?
Closing it because it doesn't care about your fingers or how it looks or whether it can drive or whether it's safe. What's the next topic?
No, thank you. What's next?
Yeah, right after a rain. Right after a nice rain.
I was like, wait, what was the topic?
The rain.
Yeah. It is always after a rain.
That's it.
Yeah.
Asked and answered. And breathe deep.
Carla Toll asks, postcards, yes or no? Look, I'm always going to be a yes on anything that might bring joy and is no harm to other people. I love a postcard. And what I tend to do is buy postcards and then never send them. And I have a big drawer full of postcards. Then I'm like, well, I guess eventually I'll put them up on the corkboard or magnet on the fridge.
Yeah, eventually they get shredded and thrown out or recycled unless they're turned into like a quilt or something that goes up on the wall.
Man, how are you going to turn postcards into a quilt? How is that going to keep you warm?
No, but it's also not going to get sent to anybody. So it's just as useful either way.
Very good point.
I'll tell you, it's a thrill to receive a postcard. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Like, oh, you were here in this moment and you took the time to send me a postcard to say I was here. I was thinking of you. Here's the trip that I'm having. I love the idea of them. They are not practical at all and that people just don't. Now you look at it as like, oh, I could frame this and put it up. Like it becomes a thing for you as opposed to, well, I don't know. I don't want to buy a whole poster. That's too expensive, but for $2.
That's what postcards are now for me is, I love that art print. I wonder if they have a postcard version.
Yeah. So I think it's a yes either way.
Yeah.
But I wish people would send them more. And I want to, when I go on a trip, be more thoughtful to do that because I do think it's a really nice gesture. You don't have to send them out to everybody, but it's nice to send a postcard and to receive one.
Yeah. Thanks. I just did a 2-week overseas trip and did not send a single postcard. Now I feel real bad about it.
You don't have to. That's the thing is it's a bonus.
Yeah.
If anybody's like, if you go on a trip and you come back and anybody that you know, in the first 10 minutes of talking to you says, where's my ex?
Yeah.
You might be able to trim that person out of your life. Or at least cut back on them a little bit.
Unless they asked you beforehand to try to spy on their ex who lives in that country. You're like, that's true. You're going to Norway? Hey, how's my ex? Where's my ex? Whoa, calm down, pal.
Will you spend the whole time tailing my ex? Here's the last known address. Here's what I think their phone number is.
I'm
Switch
just
the
going
SIM
to
card in their phone
Oslo.
with this one.
Oh God, I'm just going to Oslo to see the fjords.
Oh, it'll be great. They live at least, they're within 1,000 miles of the fjords, but go to them first. I think this is where they have lunch every day.
Oh gosh.
So postcards, yes. Yay.
Yeah. Postcards, 100%. Yay on all accounts, and we wish we did them more. Shout out to my buddy Atul, by the way, who is great with just randomly sending postcards. Just like, hey man, thinking about you. I love that. I think it's great, and I wish I did it more. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue to clean the slate. How does that sound, Hal?
Summary.
How does that sound, Sammy Hagar?
Sounds great. Standing on top of these bottles.
Why are you standing? He's standing on top of so many bottles.
Whoa.
Oh gosh, the pyramid.
I'm Sequoia Holmes, pop culturist and host of the Black People Love Paramore podcast. Contrary to the title, it is not a podcast about the band Paramore. Each episode, I, along with a special guest co-host, dissect one pop culture topic that mainstream media doesn't associate with Black people, but we know that we like. Tune in every Thursday to the podcast that's dedicated to helping Black people feel more seen, here on Maximum Fun.
I'm Yucky Jessica.
I'm Chuck Crudsworth.
And this is Terrible,
a podcast where we talk about things we hate that are awful.
Today we're discussing Wonderful, a podcast on the Maximum Fun Network.
Hosts Rachel and Griffin McElroy, a real-life married couple, discuss a wide range of topics. Music, video games, poetry, snacks.
But I hate all that stuff.
I know you do, Yucky Jessica.
It comes out every Wednesday, the worst day of the week, wherever you download your podcasts.
For our next topic, we're talking Fiona, the baby hippo from the Cincinnati Zoo.
I hate this little hippo.
Well, we're back. Sammy is doing better. The doctors say he's going to be out of surgery in a couple hours.
Well, good luck to him.
Our thoughts are with you, Sammy.
Yes, I hope your pulse can go way more than 55. What's the next topic, Ken? All right, this is also from Timothy Hutton, not Timothy Hutton.
I know. I thought at first
the
it was
Oscar winner for Ordinary People, which is a fantastic movie.
Terrible name. Terrible name for a movie.
Well, based on a book they were adapting.
I don't care, man.
But it's really good.
Name it Interesting People.
Bawling in that. That's the
I'll tell you who's bawling.
Anyway, what?
Timothy Hutton is bawling.
Yeah, he's bawling, getting all these topics on here. All right, if you're going to a summer concert, seats or open grass? I've done both of these. I know you've done both of these for sure.
I've done both of these many times. Depends on the venue, I think. Mm-hmm. Because I think summer concert, I think Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, which is benches.
Yeah.
So I like a bench seat. You get a little bit of, that feels like a cheat though, to say that bench seat is the best because you get the benefits of a seat, but you also have, the slight ability to move around and make little picnic areas out of things. I think the picnic real estate of the open air concert, lay your blanket down thing can set up a fun little party. It's nice to have a party in like, hey, we have 8 by 8 feet. Me and, a handful of my friends at this summer concert that's happening in the park. Mm-hmm. This is our little party on this little patch. And we're having a party with a lot of little patches all over. There's something kind of magically summery about that.
Yeah, it is fun. I don't like a bench in particular because I need back support because otherwise I'll hunch over like a cartoon vulture.
Sure.
And I need to I need something that can help my horrific posture just a little bit, like a little bit of help.
You need to sit up straight like a vulture from a cartoon who just won a spelling bee.
Yeah, or who got hit on the head and then they stiff it up and they go, and then they fall over.
And their feet get perfectly perpendicular.
Yeah. The last time I remember doing the picnic thing was at Lilith Fair. I went with a bunch of friends to Lilith Fair. Great lineup. Missy Elliott, Indigo Girls, Sarah McLachlan,
what year would this
Tori
have been?
Amos. 97 or 98.
Right on.
We had a patch to ourselves and then you go get food. I don't think you were allowed to bring a lot of food in. Mm-hmm. And that was fun, but people walk in front of you and you can't really see during that time. If it's raked, if there's a rake, then go ahead and take your blanket.
Yeah.
But if it's flat, then that's not where it's at.
You know what? That's a really good mnemonic to remember.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a rake, then you take your blanket. And if it's flat, that's not where it's at. See, we had the rake, in Tennessee growing up when we would go to concerts outside. They always did it. The stage was always at the bottom of the hill, much like the Hollywood Bowl is here. The stage is at the bottom. Yes. The seats rake way, way, way up. Yeah. So you can sit your blanket wherever and you're always able to look down on the show.
Yeah.
This kind of goes back to the very beginning, and I'm sort of on the opposite with this one. At the beginning, it was beach blanket versus chair. And the chair I think the chair is inarguably more comfortable. But in this particular case, you don't have the sand. So the sand is not a factor. You can lay out your blanket. You don't necessarily you do kind of need to do the four corner thing, maybe.
Yeah, you probably do.
Yeah, no, probably.
Blankets are blankets. The same blanket problems
I know.
Don't go away.
I wanted the blanket problems to go away because the sand wasn't there. How?
Well, you hate the sand. It gets everywhere.
It does get everywhere.
It's coarse.
So do you think,
I think if you're going to a concert to just sort of vibe and you don't really care as much if you see sometimes at those festivals,
symphony shows.
I'm having a picnic with a live show happening in the background.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go like Lilith Fair, there might be some acts that you're more into than others. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of beneficial for that. And then you'd get up and walk a little closer for those and then come back. You have a little home base. Nothing wrong with that. But like when I took my mother to see James Taylor, we could have been on the grass, but that would have been horrible for my mother's arthritic joints.
Right.
But also,
probably more people can use the chairs.
I wanted us to be as close to the stage as possible just for the experience of it. And I'm glad that I did because it was such a good, like maybe one of the top 3 concerts I've ever been to for sure is James Taylor. The other 2 are Dolly Parton and Weird Al.
I mean, listen, you could have said that those are the shows that I went to, and it could have been any time between 1970 and now.
This is true.
You like your acts to have their longevity. I get it.
Yeah. These were all in the last 26 years.
Amazing.
That was the Hourglass Tour in 98 for James Taylor.
So if we both have our subjective opinions on this. And the things that we like and don't like. I would argue that the cheaper the ticket, the more likely a blanket is going to be fine. If it's a $5 ticket for a festival of local bands happening in the summer in your local park, great, sit on a blanket. But with the way tickets, so I'm trying to do this objectively and say, if it is a concert that I've paid money to go and see, concert tickets are pretty expensive right now. We are in an era of expensive concert tickets. And if that is the case, I'm going to want the best possible viewing experience. And normally that is the seats section of one of these shows. The grass is usually the area that is not the higher ticket seats toward the front. If it is a musical act that I at all care about, I think chair is going to be the winner because that's going to get you in the best possible position to see the show.
I think so too.
If you want to have that party on your blanket, you don't necessarily have to have a concert there to do it.
So we'll say, I think it's fair to say there's a threshold for this. Yeah. At which you're just there because there's some music playing that you might enjoy, but you're really there to sort of hang out and picnic.
Yeah.
And in that case, blanket. But if you really care about who's playing and there's somebody that you came to see, you want a seat so that you can be sort of locked in and experiencing it.
100%.
There you go.
All right. Asked and answered. All right. Kathleen Cashman asks, this could be another full episode, but I don't want to do that to you again, Hal, with a booze-based episode. This is best margarita, flavor, rim, etc. Do you have opinions on this?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
The rim's supposed to have salt on it.
Yeah, I like a salt rim. I think that's part of what makes it a margarita.
And then you want a classic like lime margarita, something that is refreshing. So that the salt is sort of balancing out with that refreshing lime. Or if you do salt on the rim, here's another one that might be good, is a watermelon margarita, because salt on a watermelon is very good.
That's true. Salt on a watermelon is very good. I would argue that it's starting to lose the plot of margarita. I would say that I like a classic margarita. While we're on the flavor profile of it.
Okay.
I think I like a Cadillac margarita
Great.
So hear me out. That is tequila, lime juice, and Grand Marnier. So there's a little bit of extra citrus. You get some grandma in there with some orange. I like that flavor. Now, let me ask you this. Frozen or on the rocks? Because you've had virgin drinks as well.
Frozen? Because it's summertime?
I feel like if it's summertime,
hot,
it's going to get watered down.
Right.
As the ice melts, probably going to be more watered down. But if you're drinking to get drunk, that would be the on the rocks version. If you want if it's summertime, this is a summertime episode. We got to say frozen.
Yeah. Frozen margarita.
Right. Yeah.
You can have enough of them. There's that song that give me one margarita, blah, 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 blah. Like margaritas clearly are a gateway to many, many things.
Yeah.
Frozen or unfrozen. And that song does not specify which it is, but we can assume for the sake of argument that it is frozen. So
the
frozen
other thing,
Cadillac margarita.
A frozen Cadillac margarita. Though let me throw in a possible glitch, is going to take you longer to receive because they gotta like rinse out, unless it's one of those places that just does
they got the
frozen
machines.
Drinks constantly.
Yeah. They got like a Slurpee machine, but for alcoholics. It's fine.
All right. So we're at like a Fat Tuesday or somewhere where they have or a bar with a thatched roof and what looks like a
Margaritaville.
yogurt.
Just say Margaritaville. We're at Margaritaville. There's a slide. There's thatched roofs everywhere. There's one at Universal. We could be one right now. You could be there in 10 minutes. I could be there probably about half an hour.
That's true. There is a bronze blown out flip flop hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah. I had lunch there in January.
It used to be. Well, it's not open anymore. Bad news. It's not open during the day.
I was there when it was open.
This is for regular people. It's not open right now.
During a weekday.
It has become on purpose.
It was a team outing for work.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And I saw Fred. Fred came and said hello.
So
hello.
That's what they do now. It's only for special events and corporate gigs. Can you go into Margaritaville? I don't know if that correlated with Jimmy Buffett's death. Like, if it was in his will, he was like, Margaritaville is closed to the public after I die.
All Margaritavilles must be flown at half-mast, which means they're only open for corporate events with big money.
Because I want to have one thing in my legacy lose money, and it's going to be keeping a whole restaurant that's only open for tops 3 hours a day.
If only there was some other Southern-ish party musician known for wearing Hawaiian shirts who could take over as mayor of Margaritaville.
Who are you talking about? I don't know.
Oh no, he's standing on top of all those bottles.
Oh no. Hey, it's me, Wango Dango. We're finally going to unload this stuff. Open 24/7. Standing on top of Margaritaville for the first time
in forever. All right. Yeah. So the best margarita, is a frozen Cadillac margarita
with salt on the
with a salt rim. Why not? Right. Let's freeze it. It's not we're not at a fancy bar. We're at a beach place.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Comes
this is a summer episode. What else you got, Hal?
This is from Avery W. Krause.
What's up, Avery?
Avery asks, tire swing or regular swing? The answer is, I think, a regular swing, because of the tire swing, there's no real possibility that you could go all the way around. And with a regular swing,
there's that
high enough that you're like, I can go all the way around. I think I'm going to do it this time.
Yeah. I mean, was that hope ever realized for you though, Hal?
I'm still here, aren't I?
You are still here, which means no, it was not recognized. I'll tell you what hope is recognized is that the single rope of a tire swing versus the dual ropes of a regular swing means that a tire swing is an absolute chaos agent. You have no idea. If somebody pulls you back in a tire swing and lets go, you have no idea where that tire swing is going to spin, turn, bang against. You don't know what's going to happen. A tire swing is delightful, ridiculous. I would say, Southern fun, but that just might be because, I knew in the South was where I had my most memorable experiences on a tire swing.
Yeah, no, they're everywhere. That's not unique to Tennessee or the South, but I understand that of course would be your association. The thing about tire swings is they are wildly uncomfortable to sit in. They're cutting into your butt and trying to get up in there to see what's going on. And then the other part, because there are two edges that you're sitting on, is cutting through your legs. So it's not fun to sit on. Now, if you do it the other way, where you have the single string and then it like tripods out to a sitting one and you're doing like a lazy river thing.
Oh, yeah. Those are fun.
And you can lay back. I think that is a better configuration.
Yeah. I think just the classic tire, the swing that is just a tire looped in like you would loop or like you would loop a ring through a necklace. You know
when you're trying to throw footballs through it.
Yeah, exactly. That is a chaos agent. That is not a comfortable chaos agent. Right. I think you might have landed on something, which is, the laid flat with the ropes above it, but leading up to a single rope.
Yeah.
Is a chaos agent that is a little more comfortable.
All right. If you're seeking chaos, let me ask you something.
Not necessarily, but I'm enjoying it.
But that's what you like about this. That's the appeal of this, is you like the chaos of it.
The spin, it spins everywhere. It could go all over.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
When you're on a traditional swing, or a trad swing, as we call them.
Sure, trad swing. Got it.
And you're trying to go, you as a child tried to go all the way around. Who among us did not?
Sure, yeah.
But you got up pretty high.
Yeah, I feel like I got past horizontal.
Yeah. How did you dismount off of that swing?
I jumped.
Yeah. You let it propel you forward like a slingshot and then you jumped out.
Yeah.
And what could have happened in that moment that you flew off?
Objection leading the witness? I don't know.
I'm simply asking, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
Oh, thank you, Judge Hagar. I'm simply asking how many different possibilities. You could land on your butt. You could break something. You could land on your feet. You could do a roll and be the coolest kid in school. That is a moment of chaos that you are manufacturing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not just what you could time that wrong, but there's no better feeling than flying through the air off of a swing. You cannot dismount that way off of a tire swing, off of any version of a tire swing.
You know what else you can't do on a tire swing?
What?
You know what? I'm going to set a picture for you, Hal.
All right. I'm closing my eyes.
You're a young Hal Lublin. You're past the age of playing on a tire swing as a little kid and just going haywire out there. You're a little more mature now. Now you're starting to date. And you find a special someone.
So I'm in my 20s.
Okay, so you're in your 20s.
Go ahead.
You find your special someone, and now I'm picturing two different possibilities. You're, walking past through a park, and you see a playground, and there's swing there, and you each take a swing, and you just kind of gently sway and swing in time with one another, and flirt that way. Now picture trying to do that flirting in a tire swing that you have both decided to sit down in.
The only thing that
I think you're.
You get on it and then you do that thing where you wind it up and then you're just spinning out.
Yeah, you wind it up and it goes.
Oh, vomit. The only thing that would be more awkward is if we both tried to get into and out of a hammock. So what are you thinking about?
Ow, my hair.
Think about how many movies have a scene where the two romantic leads are sitting on two swings talking to each other. That's always where
every Hallmark movie.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something about my past. You're going to learn about me.
Yeah.
This is a private moment. In Coming to America, that's when Akeem gives Lisa his jacket and they're really connecting for the first time, like really getting a chance to connect and talk to one another.
Now put that scene in a tire swing.
You can't. It's impossible. Then they have to take turns being on it. All right, get off, my turn.
Yeah, I want to go now.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess, for those reasons, as much fun as a tire swing is.
Trad swing.
Trad swing. Yeah.
Asked and answered.
Asked and answered.
We got time for one more?
We have time for one more. This is another Timothy Utton. Timothy Utton going 3 for 3 today.
Amazing.
Final topic. Best water to enjoy summer. Lake or ocean?
Oh, pool's not in this?
No, pool's not in this. This is natural water, my friend. Lake or ocean?
The ocean.
Yeah. I feel like I like when the water is vast and I can't see the other side of it.
Yeah.
And it's also moving and churning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a Great Lake, sure. But I will much more readily jump in the water in the ocean than I will in a lake. First of all, because of murderers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason's in every lake.
Yeah. And second, because God knows what else is in there. That's where that's where you see like lakes. The ocean is where you go surfing and like, hang out and party on the beach. Lakes are where Loch Ness has a monster.
Lake Placid, that giant
Lake Placid
alligator.
Yeah. Like what monsters lurk in the depths of these?
The lady of the lake. There's a lady with a sword in every lake.
Yeah.
You don't know how she's going to feel about you. She could chop you up.
Yeah. You don't know what's up with the lady in the lake.
Up.
Yeah. So, this has to be the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the ocean. Asked or answered.
All right. Asked or answered? How long have you been doing this?
Asked or answered. I don't know. What show is this?
Yeah, let's do one more. That was real quick. Let's do one more quick one.
All right. One more. Ken, one more. One more real quick. Please.
Real quick.
Ken,
real quick. Ken, one more
real quick.
Ken, one more real quick. Ken,
one more real quick. Please.
Real quick.
All right. From Carla Toll, cloth napkin or paper napkin? This is, I assume, at a picnic or a BBQ. I mean, I hate to be an enemy of the environment. It's paper.
I do too. It's 100% it's paper. I feel so bad.
You're bringing cloth napkins that you have to wrap up in your tablecloth like a bindle. You get a plastic tablecloth. You get paper napkins.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh man, I feel like such a bad
say a small prayer.
Person.
Look, we are killing the planet, but we are not bringing cloth napkins to a barbecue or a picnic.
No.
We're not psychopaths.
Yeah. That
is psychopathic behavior.
I don't know. The psychopathic behavior, I think, is like Robert Mitchum and Scrooged pulling out your own gold and silverware at the picnic. That might be the psychopath behavior.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad too.
Depends on if the cloth napkins are monogrammed or not.
You are one step away from hiding at the bottom of a lake if you're bringing cloth napkins to a picnic or barbecue. I'm just going to say
You mean
that.
like the lady of the lake with the sword who will chop you up?
The lady of the lake, Jason, there's like a whole city under the lake. You got Loch Ness there. You got the lady of the lake. You got Lake Placid wandering around. You got Jason Voorhees is in there.
Yeah, man. Oof. I don't know. Dangerous. I don't know about that.
Child Jason Voorhees too.
You know what? I'm climbing out of that lake as fast as I can. Yeah. And I'm climbing up the docks of the backyard of a little town called Margaritaville. And I'm going to go and I'm going to see the mayor.
It's me. I'm the new mayor of Margaritaville, soon to be known as Wango Tango City.
And you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to take all that Wango Tango and we're going to get it ice cold and we're going to fill up the bin right in the middle of the all gender section of the Ojai Valley Inn. And we're all going to take a cold Cabo Wabo plunge.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We did it. Now I feel like everybody's prepared for the summer. Thank you all.
Yeah.
For these topics. These are all officially closed forever and ever.
That's right. These topics are closed, but good news. There are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or
you can find us on almost every social media at We Got This Podcast, including our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/WeGotThisPodcast. And the one difference being our Instagram account at We Got This Show. We just had somebody join the Facebook group who found out about us on Instagram. It works if you work it, people.
Work it.
Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, who always bring it when we ask you to help us clean the slate, which I guess isn't really a clean slate if we're asking to fill the slate first. But you know what? That's beside the point. The point is we ask for topics, you give them to us, and we cannot thank you enough for that and for giving us the opportunity to sit down and have a great time cracking jokes with one another and enjoying everything that this crazy planet has to offer. To you, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin, and don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows supported
directly
by you.